Hello, everyone. Welcome to Things and Stuff, a show slash podcast where I talk about things and occasionally talk about stuff. I'm your host, John, but for this series slash show, just call me John. I want this to kind of be separate from my gaming endeavors. It will still be on the channel, but I want to kind of keep it away from the Pokemon scene. I mean, I might occasionally talk about Pokemon, but for now, just kind of here to talk about, well, things and stuff. Whatever I wish to talk about, whether it be, you know, just genuine stuff about life or maybe political, maybe not super political, but in that region, just about the world. And so I kind of want to just keep it mellow, keep it kind of, what's the word? Just relaxed, you know? Just want to talk, because I feel like nowadays people don't really talk. And more than that, people don't really like to listen. And it's a odd thing that I've noticed as I've grown older. As a kid, right, you don't notice these things. I'm 19 years old. I'm not old by any means. I'm not even anywhere near the middle half of my life. But I have noticed a great deal of things, and one of the great deal of things I've noticed is that people don't communicate with each other enough. Now, I say enough because people do communicate with each other. I have a family that we communicate with each other very often. I am a person who's very communicative and I can express my words very easily. But people just don't talk the way that they used to. Relationships end because people don't know how to talk and express their emotions. And that is a sad thing that I've noticed as I've gotten older. It's sad that people don't know how to talk and express their feelings, express what they believe in, especially without hurting others or putting others down or making others seem insignificant. It's really sad. I don't think I've ever truly noticed it, but, as human beings, we are blessed with the ability to communicate. Now, I mean, obviously, I'm sure animals have ways to communicate, but we have an actual language, many languages actually, but we all have the ability to talk about how we're feeling, but we don't use it. And one of the biggest concerns I've had is why? Why don't we do these things anymore? And it's almost like a lost art, communication, being able to talk to people. Like it's something that has just been lost to the void of humanity, I guess. And I kind of wish that we would go back to that way of life. People argue with each other all the time about political views, but some people on both sides, Democrats, Republicans, whatever you are, some people just don't like to listen to others. And I think that the world would be a far better place if we would just sit down, open our ears, and listen. Because people don't listen. There's a lot of ignorant people out there that just don't listen. And it makes me sad, and I wish that the world was different. But the only way you can change the world is by putting it forward yourself. And I think that by doing this show or podcast or whatever you'd like to call it, I want to talk. I want to start the conversation again. I want to stop just speaking and actually give people an opportunity to speak and allow me to listen. I'm a good talker. I've always been. I'm pretty good with words, but sometimes I don't listen too well. Even I can admit that. But I try my best to listen to people when they are talking. And I think that that's one way that we can all change the world is by allowing ourselves to listen. Because once we listen, we can see both sides. We can see what the other person is trying to say without just pushing past it. I hope that by me, that's a really bad sentence. I hope that by doing this and by listening, I can help influence others to do the same. I mean, I don't necessarily have a platform, right? I mean, I do. 50 subscribers isn't a lot of people, but it's enough, right? To just try and get the word out and teach people something. You know, I don't have a big platform, 50 subscribers, right? It's nothing in comparison, right? And I'm thankful for the few subscribers that I have. But, you know, it's not a gigantic following. But I never got into this for the following. You know, I didn't start this, I would say career, but it's really not. I didn't start this hobby, let's say, to be famous. I started this to connect to people. I started this to entertain because I was a person who relied heavily on YouTube and TV and such to get through the day, you know? And I always looked up to entertainers, you know, YouTubers like PewDiePie, Markiplier, Epic Rap Battles of History, just an entertainment factor that could get me through the day, give me a distraction. That's what was important for me, and that's what I needed, and that's what I appreciate about content creators. Because some of them, not all of them, they put out this content for free. 100% free. I mean, take a look at PewDiePie, for example. He has hours upon hours of content that is free to view at any time. Like, that's it. You know, it's free. They do it for free technically. They get paid, obviously. But this content is free. They don't charge people. I don't pay to watch YouTubers. They get paid for me to watch them. And I just want to be that for people. I want people to enjoy watching my stuff, listening to my stuff. If I can make somebody smile, if I can make somebody happy, if I can just give somebody 30 minutes of distraction from the outside world, that's all that I care about. 50 people are subscribed to this channel. That's 50 people that I can give some form of entertainment to, whether or not my stuff is actually entertaining. I just want to give people something that they can watch and appreciate and just enjoy, right? I've always wanted to be an entertainer. It's something that I felt like I could do pretty damn well. And that's why I started, because I felt like I had the capabilities to change people's lives. You know, it's not an exaggeration when I say that YouTubers and entertainers helped shape me, helped give me a different view on the world, helped me laugh and live, you know, and just enjoy the world around me. If I can do that for just one person, isn't that worth it? To just impact somebody's life, you know, change somebody's life. I mean, you can deliberately make somebody's life shittier. You can insult them. You can hurt their feelings. You can do horrible things to them. If you can deliberately go out of your way to make somebody's life shittier, you can go ahead and deliberately make it better, whether you do it directly or not. Whether it's just telling somebody that they have a nice haircut, or their dress is nice, or they have a lovely smile, things like that, or just by making content to entertain others. It doesn't matter, because if you can just have the smallest impact on somebody's life, you've done something good, especially if you're doing it for a good reason. Or what should I say, not for a selfish reason, because you could just do it all for show, pretend to be a nice guy so people like you. That's not going to get you any far, or any further, I guess I should say. You know, that's all I care about, right? Impacting somebody's life for the better. That's something I've always wanted to do. I've spent many years trying to figure out what my purpose is. Because for a lot of people, they don't know what it is, and they feel like they do not have a purpose. I have realized over time that my purpose on this planet is to help others. Make others feel like they deserve a chance at life. Make others feel like they matter, like they're loved. Because there are a bunch of people in this world that do not feel that way. And I want to change that. I want to be an inspiration to others. I want to be able to show others that life is difficult, but that there is nothing that can overcome them. Because everybody is stronger than they think. No matter what you think of yourself, you are always stronger than what you think you are. If you think you're the strongest person in the world, you're probably a little bit stronger, but your arrogance might get to you. But if you think that you're weak, if you think that you're nothing, I guarantee you you're not. I guarantee you you're not even close to nothing. Because everybody matters. You know? Everybody is important. And there are some people in this world that have done bad things. But I don't wish bad upon them. You know? Everybody matters, whether you're a murderer or not. Yeah, you're a bad person. For sure. No doubt about that. But you don't deserve to be... I don't know. I think that even then, the reason people end out like that is the lack of love and compassion. Because I believe, and I believe this firmly, that love makes people. I think that love is the binder that keeps people human. There's a motorcycle going by my house. I apologize. But love is the thing that makes us human. Love is what makes us individuals as well. Because there are many different kinds of love. I'm not talking just about love between two partners. I'm talking about family, friends, animals, pets, just general love. It's what builds us into who we end up becoming, whether it be from a lot of love or a lack of love. Love is what makes us. People who end up on bad paths, maybe they were missing some love in their lives. Maybe they had a lot of love in their lives, but ignored it. Love is the most important thing that we have as humans, in my opinion. That might be a controversial statement, but I think it's because love is something that we can decide. We get to choose who we love. Because there are some people who are born into families that they don't love. And that's their choice. You can choose who to surround yourself with. You can choose who you love. You can choose who you spend your life with. You get to choose pretty much everything, at least in America. And I think that love is something that really, really, really is needed right now. Because so much hate has been going around. And I believe that love can help fix that. I think that if we just continue to love each other and stay unified, there's nothing that we as a group can't overcome. Because people feed off of hate. Governments and stuff like that feed off of hate. They don't want you united. They want you divided. Because it's easier to control. And if we stay together, if we love each other, it's harder for them to wrap their wrap their fingers around us, or wrap us around their fingers. I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to say there, but you get the point. I think that just the world with a little bit more love just might end up being a better place. Because, I mean, let's be honest, the world's been kind of in a shit show, and I don't feel that much love. You know, I think that, like I said before, if I can just be the embodiment of what I want to see in the world, hopefully the world will change for the better. I want the world to love more. I want the world to talk more. I want the world to be more open-minded. So if I continue to love, continue to talk, continue to be open-minded, maybe the world will change with me. And maybe it won't. But I hope that by putting this out there for the world, that people will listen. People will start to understand, and people will start to change with me and change the world. Because, yeah, I would love to change the world. Is it unrealistic? Yeah, probably. But can I try? Yeah, hell yeah, I can try. I can try about as hard as I could ever want. Maybe it doesn't work. But at least I can say that I tried. At least we could say that we tried and didn't just stand back and watch the world crumble and burn around us, which it currently is. It currently is crumbling and burning around us, but that's not the point. The point is I want this show to be, is it influential? Is that the word I'm looking for? I want this show to have an impact on people's lives. Now, you may not agree with me. You may not agree with me one bit. You may totally agree with me 100% of the way. Either way, who cares? There's a lot of people out there that don't have the same beliefs that I do. There's a lot of people that probably don't agree with half the things I've just said. And that's okay. The world thrives off of different opinions. If everybody thought the same, what would the world be like? Where would we be as a society if everybody had the same opinions? Look at history. There's a lot of key examples as to why that's not a good thing. Diversity is what makes a people great. Diversity and different opinions allows us to grow as people. Because you get to hear different views. You get to hear different opinions. Everybody having the same opinion doesn't get anybody anywhere. So I want people to disagree with me. I want people to think that there are better things than love. I want people to think that the world could improve in another way. Because that opens the floor for conversation. That opens the floor for discussion. And that's what we need. We need discussion. I hope to have guests on this show soon. Whether or not that happens is a completely different story. But I hope to have people on here soon so that there can be communication. There can be talks, right? Maybe some people I have on the show don't agree with me. Maybe some people do. That's how conversation starts. And I want to have conversations with the people watching. Eventually I'm going to run out of things to talk about. And I don't want to get political. Don't get me wrong. I don't want to start having really heated arguments, but I just want to talk about the world, talk about things, talk about, sports, opinions on the world, opinions on food, opinions on travel, anything, just to start conversation again, just to get the world talking again. And who knows if this show even goes that far? Who knows if the channel ever gets more than 50 subscribers, right? The bottom line is that at least I can say that I tried to do my part. I tried to start something. I tried to elevate my platform and help others figure things out. I want to be a person that people can come to, a person that people can trust and believe in. because I've always been the type of person that tells people what they need to hear, not what they want to hear. Because sometimes the thing you want to hear is not what you need to hear. Some people hate me for that. Some people think that I'm doing a good thing by doing that. But I want to be the person to help people through things. Right? That's why I'm here. And this show has been jumbling all across the board. I can't really stick to a topic for long, but I want to be someone who can help people get through some tough times, because I've been through some tough times. I've helped some people through some tough times, and I want to continue doing that. And I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a sociologist. I'm a chemistry student. I don't know that much about the brain, but I know what it's like to just need a bit of encouragement. And that's what I want to be. I want to be encouragement for people, because there were times where I needed encouragement and I just didn't have it. And it sucked. But if I can give people encouragement, if I can give people life lessons, or even just my opinion, because I can talk about the different things I've experienced in my life, albeit relatively short. I can talk about all the things I've experienced and all the things that I've gathered from the world. You don't have to listen to me. You don't have to believe everything I say. You don't have to take my advice seriously. But you can just hear it, and if you like the advice, do with it what you must. Because maybe you don't agree, like I said before. Maybe you do. But as long as I can give people a starting point, give people an understanding maybe, or set them on the path that they feel like they need to be on. Because I know this now, and I knew this before, but paths change, and sometimes you don't know your path. And if I can just help people figure out their path and their meaning and purpose for life, I feel like I've succeeded in everything. Because even now, right? I've made some decisions in my life. I mean, I'm 19. I had to make a decision on where I wanted to go to college, what I wanted to do. They forced that upon you so young. I was a 17-year-old, pretty much tasked with choosing my life for the next 4 years as a 17-year-old, which is tough. But even now, my path is not set in stone. I have a fantastic vision of what my future will be like, but there's no guaranteeing that it stays that way. And that's okay. And I want people to understand that that is okay, because things happen. Shit happens. And it could change your life. It could change your path. It could change your idea of what you want for yourself. Right now, I'm a student. I go to school. I do my work so that I can get a job in the future, because that's how it works. And I do YouTube on the side. Do I ever think that I will be a successful YouTuber? Probably not. Do I think that I will go on and get millions of subscribers and make money doing something that I quite enjoy? No, I don't think so either. Eventually, I'll stop doing YouTube. I'll get my degree, go to get a job, and start my life. Am I okay with that? Yeah, I am. Would I like for it to end up with me being a YouTuber full time? Yeah, I would, actually. But I also understand that the scenario is unlikely. And I'm okay with that, because life is going to change. Life is not always going to go the way it plans for you. I mean, I've been in college for a year and a half, and it has not been going the way I anticipated. Is that fine? Yes. For anybody who needs to hear it, it's okay. things change. Things happen in your life that make you change as a person. It makes you change the way you want to live. That's life. And that's okay. Because some people are scared of change. Trust me, I'm extremely terrified of change. I'm extremely terrified of the future. But that doesn't stop me from thinking about the fact that my life is not a set path. At any point in time, I could change it. I like to envision someone's life. You know what? Close your eyes. Close your eyes and think of a straight road. Imagine yourself walking along a straight road. You can make any turn you want. You don't have to stay on the road. You can go walk off into the grass. You can go any direction you want. Or you can keep going forward. If you're walking down that street and you see a house over on the corner, if you want to go to the house, go to the house. If you want to change your major in college, do it. If you want to drop out of college and go explore the world, go do it. If there's something on your mind and you want it, I say just do it. Because, yeah, you might regret that you did it. But you'll regret even more that you didn't. Because at least with that regret, it's not weighing on you. If you do it and you hate it, well, you learn from it. If you don't do it, you could possibly spend the rest of your life dreading it and hating yourself for not doing it. Thankfully, I've made quite a few decisions in my life, and none of them have left me with that dread. Because I've made some decisions, and maybe they weren't the best decisions, but I've learned from them. And I've taken that knowledge, and I've bettered my life. So if you want to do something, go do it. No one's stopping you. Well, maybe someone's stopping you, but you shouldn't let you stop you. Because at the end of the day, mistakes are going to happen. You're going to make wrong choices. And if you can learn from them, your life is only going to get better. Because you can only learn if you make mistakes. That's the whole point of mistakes. If you make a mistake, you get to learn from it. If you never make a mistake, you'll never grow as a person. If your life is perfect, which nobody's life is perfect, let's be real. Nobody has a perfect life, whether you like to believe it or not. You know, I like to think I have a perfect life, and I feel like I do. But it's not perfect. I'm not perfect. People aren't perfect. We're not machines. We're people. We make errors, and that's all right. As long as we learn from them. That's the key. Is if we can learn from our mistakes, if we can learn from the wrong actions that we commit, the world will be a better place. I mean, and maybe it won't. Maybe all these things that I say that will make the world a better place don't actually make the world a better place. Well, like I said before, we can still try, can't we? And if we make a mistake, we learn from it, and we can make the world a better place. I honestly feel like everything I'm saying makes no sense. And when I go back and listen to this later, it might not make a single ounce of sense. But that's fine. I mean, I am a person who's known for rambling. I like to talk about things for an extended period of time without stopping or changing course. And that's something I need to work on, especially if I'm going to continue this show, which I have a feeling I am. Because I just want to talk to people, want to talk to whoever's listening to this. Because sometimes people just need to listen to somebody to feel better. You know, people listen to podcasts all the time. People watch videos all the time. It's just soothing for some people. And I hope that I'm talking and it's not peaking the mic too often. I'm watching the little audio wave go up and down. And I'm breathing into the mic because this mic picks up everything. But it's really interesting, that I have all these opinions on life. I mean, I've been alive for 19 years, almost 20. Not almost, a few months from now. But almost 20 years old, 2 decades I've almost been alive for. I'm young. I'm absolutely young. I mean, I'm old in my mind, but I've just experienced a lot of things. I've experienced a lot of things, seen the world from my point of view, and gathered information and processed that and understood from it. I've been told by many people that I'm very wise for my age, and that I'm about as wise as an 80-year-old man as a 19-year-old. And I agree. Because sometimes there are things that I say that just sound too pristine for a 19-year-old. I've given people advice that even shocks myself sometimes. Like, where did that come from? And I guess it's just how I've experienced life. I just am able to help people and understand their scenarios, because for some things, I don't know everything. I've never experienced everything, but I can sympathize and understand. Like, a few years ago, a friend of mine had told me that her grandfather passed away. And at the time, I hadn't ever experienced a family member passing away before. I didn't know what it felt like, and I had personally never experienced it. But I could imagine it. I could sympathize with that feeling. I'd never felt that feeling before, but I understood it. And even though I didn't fully understand it, I could still express my sadness for that situation and understand what it could have felt like. Because I sympathized. I was able to figure out what it would be like. And lo and behold, a few years later, I have experienced that before. And it felt pretty much like how I felt when I was sympathizing. If we can all do that too, right? I mean, I guess this is just the podcast on how we could change the world. But sympathy goes a long way. I mean, sometimes people just can't sympathize. I mean, when I told people that my great-grandmother had passed away, they kind of just said sorry and that was it. No sympathy, no understanding. And some people just don't understand. And that's okay, because, I didn't fully understand. You don't ever fully understand until it happens. There's some things that just that you can't understand until it happens to you. When a family member passes away, it's an entirely different feeling. It's something that you can't describe. Yeah, you can understand that it's sadness, but it's more than sadness, When a child is born, when you have a child, I've never had a child. I'm 19, obviously. I've never had a child, but I can imagine what that feeling is like. But I know that feeling is far beyond what I'm feeling right now when thinking about it. Because I could think about it and I can imagine it being a great day. I can imagine it being one of the best days of my life. But I'm going to be wrong, because it's going to feel even more amazing than that. One of the key things, aside from the passing of somebody, that I can attribute this to is falling in love. Everybody thinks that falling in love is... everybody thinks about it differently. It's portrayed in movies and media and literature very differently. You know, everybody has a different thing. For some people, it's described as love at first sight. For some people, it's not, you know. And for me, that was the one thing that I couldn't really understand. Love was unique in my mind because obviously, yeah, you think love and you think happiness. You think love, you think, just feeling overall good, you know. But it's so much more than that. I'm thankful enough to have found somebody that I love very much. I love her more than any words could describe. And the feeling is so much more than anybody could ever imagine. It is so unique that it is undescribable. It's amazing, right? And I'm not trying to make people feel sad, because eventually you will find the perfect person for you. Sometimes it just takes time. But that feeling, that emotion, being able to feel something like that is only something you can feel in that moment, but you can still try to understand it. You can still sympathize with somebody. And I guess it all kind of just ties back to love, right? I think that the reason this world fails sometimes is that there's not enough love. I think that horrible people are formed out of a lack of love, and that they surround themselves with dread and anger and fear, and they create themselves to be a horrible person or a bad person or a manipulative person. Because I've already said this, but love makes people, that's what it is. It's a building block for the betterment of society. Love drives us forward. It drives me. And if you're listening and you don't have somebody that loves you, allow me to love you. Allow the thousands of people that make content to love you. Let love into your heart, no matter where it comes from. Enjoy the little things. Enjoy the big things. I hope that by doing this, I can give somebody hope and love and make them feel loved, because nothing is more special than feeling like you are loved. It's one of the coolest things to know that somebody cares for you. And for those of you listening, I care about you. I may have never even met you. I may not ever meet you. But I care about you. I do. Because I would want the same treatment. I would want somebody to care for me, whether or not they knew who I was. Because it's nice to know that somebody acknowledges your existence, right? It's a good reminder. And I want everybody listening to this to be reminded that at the end of the day, whether or not you're having a horrible day, or your life is not going according to plan, or you were just deep in your own brain, that I care. I care, and you may not think that I do, and you may think that I'm being disingenuous, is that the word? Or that I'm not being serious, but I am. Very much so. And I wish nothing but success on everybody. I wish nothing but success on the world. I wish nothing but love on the world. And hopefully, by wishing all of this and believing all of this, we can have an impact. We can do something that people think can't be done. You know, if people can get together and riot, maybe not riot, but people can get together and protest in the streets for the best cause in the world, we can get together and change the world. I mean, that's what people are doing right now. People are protesting in the streets for Black lives. It's beautiful. It's sad that it even has to happen. You know, I think that it's really, really sad that this needs to be addressed, but it's beautiful to see. It is extremely beautiful to see unity. And as long as we can keep that, I mean, there's nothing we can't do. Well, except go to like space via like flying there, because we can't fly. You know, we're human. We also can't like shoot magic out of our hands. And we're like not immune to fire, so we would burn pretty quick. You know, I'm getting off topic here, and that's not the point. I just tried to get a little laughing bit in there. It probably wasn't funny at all, but if you laughed at it, sweet. If you didn't, fuck. But anyway, I know I rambled for a bit, and that's all right. But that's just kind of a taste of what I want this to be. I want this to be my way of addressing the world. I want this to be something that I could show my future kids, my future family, that I was able to at least try and speak about things. You know, and maybe my efforts will be for nothing. Or maybe they'll be for something. There's only one way to find out. And that's to keep on going. Keep on doing this until I can't do it anymore, or I choose to not do it anymore. Or if somebody stops me. Which, that would be weird if somebody tried to stop me. Uh-oh. I hope I didn't speak that into existence. But, nonetheless, I think I'm going to go ahead and end it here. I think we're on about 45 minutes. I think that's good enough for an episode. Maybe once we have guests, we can go ahead and do an hour, hour and a half. If it gets to that, who knows? But I appreciate each and every one of you for watching, taking time out of your day, I should say. Ooh, bars. Taking the time out of your day to go ahead and give this a listen. I truly do appreciate it. I'm not going to ask you to like or subscribe. I'm just going to ask you one thing. Talk to each other. Love each other, most importantly. And if you can do that, to me, that's more important than a subscription. So, thank you. And I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.